because everyone's like this on their phones now, scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through Instagram, and really finding new ways on their mobile devices to interact with shopping, commerce, and content. And that's what we're seeing the future really drive for Gen Z as well. So these are some of just the trends. I can go for another hour on trends, but I'll stop right there. I just wanted to highlight.
So the question, the why question, I mean, you can't have a, what if you don't have a why? Why has eBay gone in such, with such gusto into this market of luxury goods?
Yeah, for us, it's all about the end customer. We want to build some of the best customer experiences out there that really resonate and build loyalty with the end customer, driving one of our key KPIs called customer satisfaction score. We care about that. We live and breathe that at eBay and make decisions on that versus our top line revenue. Because we believe we drive that, we can drive top line revenue. And eBay, in about 3.5 years ago when I joined eBay, one of the areas and what excited me about joining eBay was we were going to focus on 3 core areas because luxury has always lived on eBay. And one of the areas we were going to focus on was fashion and luxury. And so it's always lived on eBay. Buying and selling has always happened. But we wanted to build a strong, trusted experience and really say, hey, luxury is living on eBay. How could we drive to that customer satisfaction score and really help customers get more loyalty with eBay? And so that's one of the reasons when we went. And also the resale economy. We saw a lot of trends through our own data and external market data. The resale was just booming and taking off. And COVID was just an accelerator of that, of online adoption, people adopting resale. It's becoming a lot less of a stigma as every year goes on. And it's become a heavy focus area. And luxury for us now at eBay is global, right? We have a globally focused team really working on it day in, day out to really bring the magic to life.
Talking about global, and this is a sort of a, sidewinder question, but what geographic zones are really the sweet spots now?
So the U.S. market is our largest market, but the U.K. is a very strategic market for us, our second largest market. Germany's a huge market opportunity, and the rest of Europe. So a lot of our focus is actually happening across these markets right now. Most of you, if you live in the US market, you've seen a lot of our key campaigns, the amazing campaigns that we're putting out there to show how we've launched things like Authenticity Guarantee, how we're building new features like live shopping, video commerce, where we have 16 to 20,000 viewers on being able to resonate with a brand or a retailer or a seller, selling through video commerce and commenting and interacting. These are the type of things we're showing in the US. But when we launch and build playbooks, right, how do you create, one of the things to always think about as many of you are building businesses or innovating for your brands or your retail stores is how do you build scalable and extendable playbooks? And so we started with many initiatives like Authenticity Guarantee in the American market, but scaled and repeated that in the UK, scaled and repeated that into Germany. We've also done it in Australia, Canada, and you'll see a lot of new initiatives launching not only in the Asian market, but in the UK market coming up as we approach the fourth quarter, and we're really excited by it.
So I guess we could, we're talking about reselling and re-commerce, and sustainable shopping is probably another way of putting it, right? So tell me a little bit more about this shift and the impact of this type of shopping.
I mean, the sustainable shopping initiative is sustainability and circular economy has to be on top of everyone's mind as you go about launching your product. If you think about the legislations passing in the regions we're currently in, where brands will be responsible for what happens to their second life, third life of products. And that's going to form the global economy eventually. The next generation of younger consumers want to buy a sustainable product. They want to purchase a story, not just a transaction. They want to know that it's gone through recycled materials or it has the right benefits of sustainability attached to it. That's so critical. And to really go about that, and key strategic investments are necessary on accelerating sustainable commerce. And so if you tie that back to what we're doing at eBay, some couple of the tools and experiences we built around sustainable commerce was, we've acquired 2 companies that we spoke about. One is Sertilogo, and one other is Known Origin. And what Sertilogo does is really helps us really provide AI powering authentication. Within in my jacket, for example, we can have on the label, we can have this very secure QR code. scan your phone and instantly resell with one button. We want to use that to accelerate resell, make it super seamless for the customer with one click to instant resell. Because if you create seamless experiences, make it so easy, it's almost a no-brainer, right? And then you're helping actually drive sustainability. You're helping fuel e-commerce. With known origin, the future of NFTs and digital assets and digital twins are so critical, right? You look at the watch industry, and our friends at Richmond are here, and recently they had an amazing announcement with Panerai where they're adopting NFTs, and they're putting it out there. Breitling already had over 500,000 watches out there with NFTs. But then how do you leverage that to really drive resale and create a seamless resale economy? And those are the type of things we're working on in terms of a capability and technology perspective to really fuel e-commerce. But if you think about eBay, the way it was built, we were always built on sustainability. We were built on circularity one day. We are a pre-loved marketplace from day one, and all we want to do is keep building better experiences and making it super easy for consumers to interact with us.
In the realm of luxury re-commerce,
Right.
what technological innovations, I mean, you're talking a little bit about this, has eBay employed to enhance user experience and product recommendations? You're touching on this, but tell me a bit more.
Yeah, so I touched on some of those, and we're really excited by just working with brands to really to interact with organizations like with CertiLogo or with our NFT initiative, and how do we work with brands to really help them take on the resale economy, help them build loyalty to the consumer, right? And so one of the other technological innovations or experience innovations, I also like to call it, because you can build amazing technology, but if you're not delivering on a phenomenal customer experience, it means nothing. So one of the things we've launched in April of this year was the Certified by Brand program. We have 30 plus brands with many more brands to come. First time ever, luxury brands, jewelry, watches, handbags, accessory brands are getting a dedicated, unique experience on eBay with their content, storytelling, video assets to sell pre-loved, new, and exclusive launches right through eBay, both through the eBay platform and through our live video shopping platform. And what we're excited about that is one of the things brands love is how do you build loyalty to the end consumer? How do you reach that end consumer in the secondary markets that you've lost because you put millions of products out there? And how do you help them resell that right back and then get the data? Get that data so you can keep building that loyalty flywheel. And it's really creating that flywheel effect. So I think I urge everyone to think about this flywheel effect because people build experiences, but they don't think about how to build that loyalty ecosystem. So that's a strong innovation. Another innovation and announcement, a strategic deal we announced a week ago was a consignment program. So we're now helping, starting with luxury handbags in the American market, and of course we'll roll this out globally, is if you want to sell and list an item on eBay, but I'm like, I have 5 Chanel bags or 2 Hermes Birkins, and I'm not going to sit there listing and selling, we'll do it for you. We created a unit where you send it into this facility. They'll list it, sell it, do all customer experience. You don't have to worry about it. You'll get paid for your item. So these are the type of things we're investing into. Why? Because we want to accelerate sustainability.
Now, getting that the customer satisfaction, it needs a seamless return process as well. If people don't have a good return process, how are you managing this for luxury items?
Agree, and one of the things on returns, another important area is being protected on returns, right? Not only a seamless return process, but a safe return process. I'll give an example. If some of you are consumer sellers, I'm sure you own watches, handbags. If you're going to sell on any marketplace in the world, you want to make sure if that item is returned, it's the same item coming back, and frankly, it's not damaged. And what we love about the initiative around trust that we launched, and we'll speak to that very shortly, is authenticity guarantee. What is authenticity guarantee at eBay? We started in the US in 2020 with watches, accelerating handbags, jewelry, and in global markets. We have physical facilities with experts like watchmakers. And a Rolex, for example, you buy on eBay will go through that facility, and then it'll end up to the end consumer. But if, let's say, it's getting returned, and you, Richard, you just sold your Rolex, you want to make sure you're getting it back in a safe way. So we create a seamless return process, so in one click, you'll get your shipping label, easily shipped back. But guess where that return goes through first? It goes through that facility, we verify it, and then it goes to the end consumer. We have caught stuff that should have never been returned, We completely protected that seller. They kept our money, and that's an important component. So that is very important in this process to create a seamless return experience, and it goes back to that key metric that we spoke about earlier, customer satisfaction score.
And trust you were talking about.
Trust is critical.
Building trust among sellers, brands, and buyers, right? That's what it's all about.
It's all about that, and I know I have this personal saying, I call it the 3 T's: trust, transparency, traceability, right? And that is, and there's a lot of capabilities and elements that we're currently seeing over the next 3 to 5 years that are going to innovate and drive that. But trust is critical, and the authenticity guarantee for us is the table stakes foundational program, because without that, you can't build anything else on top. And so far we've processed 7 million items physically through these centers. It's just phenomenal. And you go to some of our centers and you see sneakers and all these amazing people who are passionate, working on sneakers, loving the sneakers, sniffing the shoe. They literally can tell by like smelling the shoe. I mean,
we maybe shouldn't say that. That's a bit strange. But
I mean, think about it in handbags. If you're an expert, you can tell between smell through a real leather through fake leather. I did not sniff a shoe. I think I would have passed out, especially if there was an old sock in there. That would have been pretty bad. I'm sorry. Yeah. But the awesome part about this is, out of the 7 million, we have created digital records of each one. And what does that mean? Well, we can issue NFTs against it if we want. We can issue new benefits, services like warranty or insurance. And this is the exciting part about building trust, transparency, and traceability all in one step through this program, because of the digital records, we now have a capability and component of traceability.
Now, you're talking about some of the local authentication centers in the UK, right, Australia, Canada. Tell me a little bit more about how they really work. I mean, how do they verify these products, and how do they really know they're real?
Absolutely, and definitely feel free to go to eBay.com and check out some of the videos of how it works. But outside of that, let me give you an example on handbags, right? We have a handbag center in both Las Vegas and in New Jersey, also in outside of London, as well as outside of Berlin. And what we do there is we've actually hired experts from these brands, right? Experts who have been working at Louis Vuitton or at Chanel, folks who have been seeing these products for years, and we have multi-decades of experience, who actually look at the products. They'll look at the zipper, the lining, the stitching, the logos, the stamps. We have a database of what could potentially call out a counterfeit. But what's even ever more important, what you'll find is there's not that many fakes coming in now, right? Because people know that there's no way they're going to be able to scam the system. We are going to check it, and if we catch it, you're not going to be able to sell anymore on eBay. Right? And so we want to create a trusted marketplace. That's critical. But what's also very important is when you buy something online, whether it's eBay or anywhere else, you want to make sure you're getting exactly what you're seeing. So is the quality good? Is the watch still working? Is the handbag condition great, or does it have scratches everywhere? That is even more important. If somebody said it came with the original tags, box, and papers, does it have it? And so those are all things that we check for, so you get a very quality experience. And this is what our centers do for individuals. And if it's not what it is, we completely cancel a sale and refund your money. You don't have to deal with a headache.
So, I mean, this is a side question as well. How are you promoting that so people know? I mean, obviously we're here, we're hearing this, we know, but how does the public get to know that?
Absolutely. First of all, we have 132 million active global buyers, right? It's one of the largest e-commerce companies. So definitely we promote it to our own buyers, but we're also after that next Gen Z consumers, and we found an increase of Gen Z consumers year on year. For example, and even the female buyer who buys watches has doubled year on year, which is phenomenal. And how we're launching amazing marketing campaigns. We're at different events. We're out there doing pop-up shops. And this is happening more in the core markets I spoke to. The market we currently sit in, Switzerland, or the rest of Europe outside of Germany, it hasn't been an area we've actually invested in awareness. But we're very excited for the things to come into next year around these markets as well. Okay.
You acquired SneakerCon, right? That was quite a significant acquisition. How has that contributed to the authenticity guarantee, and what benefits have really come from this collaboration?
Yeah, what's exciting about the eBay, the new eBay, which is what I like to say started in 2020, which is we're now focused really focused on what we want to do out there. As you know, eBay owned PayPal, eBay owned StubHub. We owned all these companies and we sold them off, right? We sold them off. Why? We wanted to get back to the core of developing these amazing customer experiences around re-commerce. And as a result, authentication was important. We initially partnered up with SneakerCon. SneakerCon has been a very established, strong in the community of sneakers and streetwear in the global markets. They put on all these offline trade shows, similar to the summit here. They do 20 of them probably in a given year, but they have amazing expertise in authentication. And then we realized that, hey, we want to bring this in-house. We want to own them. It's a core capability, and as a result, we bought them. So we decide strategically on what we want to bring in-house and make it a core capability versus keep as a partnership. And if you look at the acquisition of Known Origin out of Manchester or Certilogo out of Milan, these were capabilities to accelerate sustainability for us, and as a result, we brought them in-house.
Okay. Talking about acquisitions, 3PM Shield acquired in Q4 2022. How does that, it's an AI system, right? So how does that help you preventing counterfeits? You talked a bit about this.
Absolutely. We're in, I would say, early days of leveraging that technology. One of the things on eBay, there's billions of products in a given year that go through the listing process. So we collect a lot of data. So we want to use technologies that both 3PM and other tools have to detect counterfeits or low quality items based on different attributes on our platform. So how do you automate that? And it's interesting you brought up AI, because AI is a very critical area that our team is looking at, as well as, I would say, is one of the priority one trends for both externally as well as at eBay that we're working on accelerating over the next 3 to 5 years of really building that as the next capability. A couple of the things we've launched in artificial intelligence is how to use natural language processing to really drive the selling flow. So my watch or your jacket, I love to just take a photo and instantly have the computer vision technology detect it, autofill, just like what ChatGPT would do. They autofill the description so you see it, and then you just hit submit, sell. We have launched this in the market for certain categories already. We call it the magical listing flow because it's kind of like magic, right?
That's very cool.
So that's one. And same thing, AI is the future when we go back to trends, is gonna impact the way we shop, search. How do you filter through billions of items on a platform like eBay or anywhere? How does the AI personalize it and automate what you actually show based on your personal taste? Or like, I want to be able to type in, I want a red dress, I like these type of brands, these price points. It types and then auto pulls in. There's a lot of new innovations happening, and these are the type of things we're looking into.
Now, I'd like us to take some questions in a minute, but just a last thing, because eBay Live, I think, is very exciting, and it's very new. Tell me about eBay Live.
It's interesting, like I'm sure many of you know, especially if you've been in the Asian market, how like just live video commerce has just boomed to, I think, close to a $400 billion market right now, especially in China, driven by organizations like TikTok and many others. It has become the form of shopping. And so the US market is what we're finding to be the next high growth market. It's not, of course, as big as $400 million, probably around maybe 10 to 20 billion-ish right now, but it is going to take off and boom. And so in the US, you're seeing organizations like TikTok and Whatnot and many really raise, Whatnot is a company that raised hundreds of millions of dollars to go after live shopping space. And this is what Gen Z shops at, right? This is the thing I spoke to, like going on your phone and scrolling and shopping based on your personal trends. So about a year ago, we felt this is very strategic to eBay because our consumers wanted it. It creates community. It's part of what we call the umbrella of community. So live video commerce, we have run already hundreds of events, I think, that a brand like Zodiac is one of our brand partners, right? Amazing watch brand. They come on, they're able to tell their story in real time, over 45 to 60 minutes of being on live. Talk about the history of their brand, show their products, and be able to sell them either through an auction format or a fixed price format. But it's really the capability of being able to tell the story to a live audience. We've driven anywhere between 16 to 30,000 visitors over a 45-minute period that's actively commenting, putting hearts and emojis and smiles. It's a really fun experience where the community just resonates. It's like basically taking Instagram and connecting eBay, and then you're suddenly shopping. So we really strongly believe this is an opportunity to be storytelling. Remember, eBay is a platform of stories. These items are pre-loved. They have a story behind them. We want to find new ways of delivering that content and story, and this is a major, major trend that we're seeing in the marketplace.
Great. Now, Tirath, I'd like to turn our focus to the audience and create, again, our live mastermind group, and just see if there's anybody in the audience that has a story that they can tell about how they've been able to leverage a platform, whether it be eBay or another platform, to really power their business forward. How, who's using this kind of platform in either direction? Has anybody got a story to tell? We have one in the middle. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Charlotte from the Handbag Clinic,
Yep.
and my whole business, which employs 55 people in the UK and turns over £1 million a year, all came from because I used to buy and sell bags on eBay from being 16. So I was very interested in luxury, couldn't afford luxury bags, so I would buy bags and sell them on eBay. So my whole business comes from eBay, basically.
Well, that's a good success story. And it wasn't a setup. It wasn't a setup either.
No, it was not a setup. We just met her today. Phenomenal business, and congratulations on what you're building. So thank you.
Thanks. This is where we're innovating. We're thinking of new ideas, and I like the idea. This is why I said, if you've got an idea, tell us. We need to get the spin going from all the people.
And one thing to add,
here,
what I loved about that story is, and this is what I love about being at eBay, right? Like we've been about 3.5 years. Most of our team across global luxury is new over the last couple of years, but we hear these stories all the time. We were at the largest jewelry show in Las Vegas called JCK about 1.5 or 2 years ago, and met this woman who literally in her home was just selling jewelry on eBay. And she told us a story that she literally did this to put her kids through college, and she made money and literally funded her entire children's college education. And these are the type of stories at eBay we hear every single day. We recently did our annual and currently are doing this thing called eBay Open, where it's a seller community events that we do around the world. And you just meet these sellers, both small and large ones, and you see the impact we're making economically to them. And that's, honestly speaking, what drives most of us to be at eBay. Like, we're doing this for them in their behalf. And the woman in Vegas, it was interesting. She actually named her dog eBay because of that. And this is not even a joke. It was the first time I actually heard it. Her dog's named eBay.
Wow. Okay. Do we have any questions? We've asked for the statements. Maybe someone's got a question just as we're getting towards the end. Yes?
No.
The microphone's on its way. Oh, we've got one over here. Sorry.
Hi, how are you? James Cook. I have a question on whether or not you think the resale customer is different from a brand new luxury customer, and if they face different challenges, be it economic or otherwise.
That's a great question. So I'll give you my opinion. We don't really have strong facts on it, but I would say 5 to 10 years ago, yes, there was probably a more of a stronger difference, right? But we've definitely seen in some of the stats, especially that younger generation now coming into wealth and driving into more money to spend. And the concept of sustainability, that and scarcity, right? That brand new customer, like if you want a new Rolex or a Birkin bag or even a certain handbags, you can't even get them brand new anymore. So they've gone to pre-owned, and guess what they're found? It's not bad. The stigma is not there anymore. It's actually cool to say, I bought this amazing bag. Look at this treasure hunt. This is how I found it. And we're finding that they're still spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on pre-owned luxury goods. And that same customer has that wallet that could be spent on new goods as well. So we're starting to find that, yes, they are blending. And I believe as time goes on, in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see an acceleration of that blend. I'm still going to buy new products if I resonate with the story and what it means to me, but I'm not going to stay away from pre-owned, especially if I like that product. So it's really around, am I enjoying and is it what I want? And pre-owned and new doesn't really matter for me anymore. So those are the things we're seeing.
Okay, there was one more question up the front, I think.
Hi.
No, we have one here, sorry.
My name is Diana Virginieto. I have two hats. One is Positive Luxury, and the other one is an innovation company called Sustainabate. My question to you is: we have seen probably in the last 5 years huge amount of resellers coming into the marketplace, specifically on the luxury industry. So when I think of eBay, I don't think luxury. And perhaps many people, I mean, I love eBay, by the way, but not for the luxury reasons. Anyhow, how are you overcoming the challenges that are really right now presented in the marketplace to associate the eBay name with luxury industry? Thank you.
That's a really great question. Let me talk about your first point about a lot of new players coming to the market. I think what you're finding now is that look at the market that we're in right now. There's a lot of industries and markets that are declining, right, given the macroeconomic situation, and they see it going forward. Luxury is not. The recent Bain reports showed it's at least growing an average of 9%, and most analysts do not see that stopping. Why? Because the high middle class to the ultra high end is still spending and spending more and more. It's become a great investment class. So that's one of the reasons a lot of new players and a lot of venture capital funds have invested hundreds of millions of dollars into this space, into those startups who are bigger. eBay, that's the reason to, I completely agree with you. Luxury has always lived on eBay, right? I understand externally on the perception piece, but when we sit down with brands and we show them our data on how much volume we're doing for their product, most of all of them are saying you're the largest volume player online of their inventory being sold through right now. It's happening. So that customer is still buying and selling. And one of the things we've invested into, starting with Authenticity Guarantee and some of the images you saw floating around, that's all part of one of like hundreds of types of different campaigns and investments we made into certain strategic markets. The European market is not seeing it as much yet. We're excited about the potential and what we can do here. But some of the key strategic markets I spoke to earlier have been seeing it. And as a result, from Authenticity Guarantee, when we launched it, we saw a strong double-digit growth for multi-quarters, and we're really excited about the direction we're headed. And I think perception is going to keep changing as we keep just marching forward on a lot of the initiatives I spoke about. So great question. Thank you.
Good question. Yes.
Stanislas de Quercy, Tirath, congratulations, bravissimo, because you're really having a fabulous job in a fabulous company, and you're incarnating your very inspiring initial TK. Terrific kingdom. Yes, because it's pre-loved. T-love is fabulous. In real estate, pre-loved is 90% pre-loved, 10% loved every year. In watches, is about 50-50 because every year is 75 billion US dollar new watches, 72 billion pre-loved. And what about eBay? What are the categories between fashion, accessories, watches, jewelry, and what are the brands?
No, it's no. So the focus for us right now across this is handbags, watches, jewelries, accessories, and you can say they're pretty much all the brands we can speak about, right? So I mean, we all know the majority of watches is Rolexes still, right? But we are finding a lot of brands starting to take off. I'm just talking about watches, and this plays through in other categories. Like Tudor has made a big comeback. Great thing about eBay, to your point, Stanislas, is we have data. We have data on what's trending in the market, what are price increases happening, what potential brands based on certain moves or launches they're doing at trade shows like Watches and Wonders, what happens after. We see that at eBay. And so we leverage these trends to really help grow these categories. On fashion apparel and pre-loved apparel is very important for us. Sneakers and streetwear. Streetwear, as you know, it's very hot, very trendy, right? You saw Pharrell now as the new director of design and creative design at Louis Vuitton at his first show. And all those things are making an impact to the Gen Z consumer and how they interact. So there's a lot of things happening and around storytellings, new forms of collaboration across these categories that is really making it more fun and bringing this to life. You have digital assets in the NFT space that many brands and groups have launched as well. So we're starting to see a lot of categories and also new subcategories starting to form within luxury and fashion. So good question.
Fantastic. I think that's all the time we have for the moment. I know, Tirath, you're going to be back with me again tomorrow on another roundtable, so we can perhaps complete the conversation if there's anything else. But I mean, I think people have really grasped or been able to grasp what you're about. But it's particularly exciting, the technical evolution, the way people are seeing luxury resold on eBay. And I'd like to thank you very much for joining me on the stage today.
No, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Richard.